We are live in 3, 2, 1.
At this point, we're aware of the situation.
Brigham Young University is appealing a decision that would strip university police of their authority to make arrests and investigate crimes.
A gun bill with the intent to prevent suicide passes in the Utah House.
The Utah Transit Authority is offering free rides this week for everyone. Welcome to Newsline. It's Wednesday, February 27th. I'm Madeline Reber.
And I'm Paula Kiko Chandler. BYU is appealing a decision from the Utah Department of Public Safety to decertify the internal BYU Police Department.
Newsline reporter Danny Hallows is live at the BYU Police Station in Provo. Danny, what will happen next year for the BYU Police Department?
Yeah, this is a very he said, she said situation between BYU and the Utah Department of Public Safety. But if BYU's appeal doesn't work in their favor, then their 40-year campus police department is gone.
It was a whirlwind of information yesterday as BYU released their appeal to the decision from DPS to decertify their police department. But the DPS doesn't think they can refuse public record requests anymore. So let's break this down. BYU believes that since they are a private university, the police department is an internal branch and not required to follow public records law. DPS believes that if they are offering a public service, they should be required to comply with public records law. They say in their press release to BYU President Kevin Worthen that BYU failed to release records during an investigation last April and June. BYU fired back by saying they find this decision confounding. They believe that university police met all the criteria for the grandma and subpoena requests.
We really, they have provided services and assisted us for a lot of years. We've worked with BYU for a lot of years as well.
BYU also says that the decertification of BYU police would cost Provo taxpayers more money. But Provo Mayor Michelle Kafusi joined the ring, saying that the Provo Police Department is ready to jump in.
If and when we're called upon to provide services on campus, Provo police officers will do so in a highly professional manner.
The campus police department has been around for 40 years with no problems from DPS. Recent grandma requests for records on sexual assault at BYU are part of the reason this match started.
Now, I tried multiple times to reach out to both BYU's PR department and their police department, and neither of them would speak to me. I also tried to reach out 4 times to the Utah Department of Public Safety and could not get a comment from them. We will be following this story as it continues to unfold. Reporting live in Provo, I'm Danny Hallows.
Thanks, Danny.
A 21-year-old man is behind bars accused of sexually abusing a woman at her Brigham Young University approved apartment complex in Provo. Oswaldo and Cisco Gonzalez was arrested on Monday. Police say around 11:30 p.m. on Sunday, tenants at the lodges at Glenwood in Provo called police to report a domestic violence incident. When officers responded, they found a woman hiding from Cisco Gonzalez in an apartment. Officers booked Cisco Gonzalez in the Utah County Jail on suspicion of forcible sexual abuse and assault.
A high school student is sentenced to probation after admitting to multiple charges of sexual abuse at Gunnison Valley High School. The judge ordered 16-year-old to move to St. George to live with his grandparents while completing community service and going through therapy. The judge also says the defendant cannot attend public schools in southern Utah and will reevaluate whether or not more action needs to be taken in 90 days.
Utah lawmakers were opposing a bill to cut sales taxes. Governor Gary Herbert plans on giving Utahns $200 million in sales tax cuts and reduce the income tax. The bill proposes a decrease in sales tax from 4.75% to 3.10%. The bill was made public later this week. After a 57-15 vote, the Utah House of Representatives passed a bill banning elective abortions after 18 weeks. House Bill 136 modifies the circumstances in which an abortion can occur after 18 weeks. It says that if a child is not viable or able to live outside the womb, it can be aborted. The bill says that the age of 18 weeks is viable age for most fetuses. The bill goes to the Senate now for consideration.
The bill raising Utah's tobacco age to 21 narrowly passed through the House Business and Labor Committee with a 7-6 vote on Tuesday. Representative Steve Eliason says that passing the bill will help stop teens from getting addicted to nicotine while their brains are still developing. The bill would increase the legal age incrementally, with the age increasing to 20 in July of 2020 and to 21 the next year.
2 gun safety bills will now move to the Senate after passing in the House. Newsline reporter Amber Peterson spent the day on Capitol Hill. Amber, what is the purpose of these 2 bills?
House Bills 17 and 152 aim to ensure extra steps are taken to lower rates of suicides by firearms.
Representatives, if you have ever received a phone call that a family member was just died by suicide, and that family member was a child, it changes your world.
House Bill 17 proposes a firearm safety program and suicide prevention education course by doing the following: producing a firearm safety brochure and firearm safety packet, procuring cable-style gun locks, distributing firearm safety packets, providing firearm safe coupons to residents that receive a concealed firearm permit, and creating a suicide prevention education course. The bill would require the sale of each firearm, whether a public or private sale, to come with a trigger lock.
The state purchases these trigger locks for $1.
The bill passed 66-4 and will move on to the Senate for a vote. House Bill 152 also deals with gun safety in relation to suicide prevention.
It allows cohabitants in a home to remove firearms from their home on a voluntary basis and take them to a law enforcement office for safekeeping with no questions asked.
Owner cohabitant is defined as anyone living in the home who is 18 years of age or older and is a spouse, related by blood or marriage, has one or more children in common with the owner cohabitant, or has interest in the safety and well-being of the owner cohabitant. The bill passed 59-9 and will move on to the Senate. Representative Ellison shared that 85% of firearm deaths in Utah are suicides. The House hopes that these bills can lower that statistic drastically. Back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Police are searching for 3 suspects who stole tobacco products from a 7-Eleven in South Jordan. The 7-Eleven robbery happened just after 3 a.m. located near 104 South 4000 West. Police say 3 men carried out the robbery, assaulted the clerk, and all ran away. The suspects are said to be 2 black men and 1 white man, with all between the ages of 17 and 20. Fire investigators in Layton are trying to determine the cause of a house fire. Fire crews responded to the blaze at 1714 North, 1750 West in Layton last night. First responders from the Layton Fire Department and Hill Air Force Base responded to the scene. Crews believe that there were people trapped in the house when the flames broke out, but no one was home at the time. Fire crews quickly put out the flames.
The owner of a massage parlor in Orem is behind bars accused of prostitution. Police say that 4 men reported 47-year-old Rong Guan offered to perform a sex act during massages in her parlor. According to police, Guan is being charged with 4 counts of prostitution, a Class B misdemeanor. She is also charged with pattern of unlawful activity because there had been several reports of her illegal behavior for a while. That charge is a second-degree felony. Sandy City Council members are upset that they have been removed from the staff email distribution list. The issue was brought up at the City Council meeting last night. 2 staff members wrote a memo saying they feel attacked for being left off the email list. Mayor Kurt Brandburn says he did not want to clutter certain staff members' inboxes and that sensitive information has been leaked by emails in the past. Mayor Bradburn says the staff members will be added to the email list again.
Shireen Gorbani is now officially a member of the Salt Lake City Council after being sworn in yesterday. Gorbani was elected by the Democratic Party Central Committee to fill the seat of the new mayor, Jenny Wilson. After taking the oath of office, she went straight to work. The council is in support of bills that would cover the clean air quality in Salt Lake Valley. According to Gorbani's social media, she's excited to get out into the community and listen to concerns.
The Utah Transit Authority is giving customers 2 days that they can ride tracks, Frontrunner, or the buses for free. Newsline reporter Nikki Wilson joins us now. Nikki, when can people ride for free?
Tomorrow and Friday, any member of the public can ride the UTA buses or trains for free. These free fare days give people the opportunity to try out public transportation in Utah.
UTA joins with the community and business leaders to sponsor free fare days. Last free fare day, UTA averaged a 40% increase in boarding on tracks, Frontrunner, and UTA buses. People who commute using the bus or train say it is a great way to get around.
Do you like riding UTA? Yeah, I do. I think it's a great form of transportation, especially when you go further places and you don't want to, use up all your gas to get there.
It's an absolutely reliable source of transport. If you follow them on Twitter, they give you updates if there are delays or mechanical problems, which is always very, very helpful.
Some people who ride Frontrunner say public transportation has its pros and cons.
So the reasons why I like it is because it's really close to where I live, so it's easy to get to the station so I can head up to LDSBC. And probably the only reason that I don't like it is because sometimes there can be a lot of people on the Frontrunner.
A single occupancy vehicle produces more than 53 times the emissions of a commuter who bikes to a track station and uses public transit. Getting cars off the road is a way to improve air quality, and it's also a way to avoid the traffic rush.
The buses and the train, they look pretty used still, but they're always well kept, and it's just, just nice to sit in a comfortable chair as you commute in the morning and in the evenings.
For more information on fares, routes, and schedules, visit rideuta.com. I'm Nikki, reporting for Newsline. Back to you.
Provo is the second best place in the country to buy a starter home. Realtor.com has released the top 10 cities to buy your first home, and Provo snagged the second top spot. Provo's median listing price is $377,500, almost $20,000 less than Salt Lake City. The city has a down payment assistance program for first-time home buyers. 51% of the share of buyers in Provo are under the age of 35. Lake Charles, Louisiana beat Provo for the #1 spot.
Blood transfusions are intended to save lives, not end them. Find out how a routine blood transfusion killed a woman who showed up to an emergency room for treatment.
A busy railway station goes up in flames and killing dozens of people. We'll tell you what caused the deadly fire and where it happened.
BYU's mascot Cosmo the Cougar comes out from behind the costume to tell people who he really is.
Stay tuned to find out how these animals used weather to help them escape. Up next.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
when you want to talk, I'm here.
At least 25 people are dead and 40 others injured in a fire at Egypt's busiest railway station this morning. Officials say Cairo's central Ramses station was set ablaze after a train collided with the platform and its fuel tank exploded. Many of the injured are in critical condition with second and third degree burns. Egypt has a history of deadly train disasters. There's been no lack of drama and intrigue on Capitol Hill today as the president's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, testifies publicly for the first time.
Kristen Holmes has the latest, and we're hearing from Washington, D.C.
A stunning and at times contentious day on Capitol Hill as Michael Cohen, President Trump's former lawyer and confidant, testified in front of the House Oversight Committee. A stinging rebuke of President Trump.
He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
Delivered by his former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, during an electric public hearing on Capitol Hill. Cohen alleging Trump knew ahead of time that WikiLeaks intended to release emails damaging to Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016.
He was a presidential candidate who knew that Roger Stone was talking with Julian Assange about a WikiLeaks drop on Democratic National Committee emails.
Cohen also testifying that President Trump instructed him to use his own funds for hush money payments to Stormy Daniels in 2016 to keep quiet about an alleged affair with Trump, an affair Trump has denied.
This $35,000 check was one of 11 check installments that was paid throughout the year while he was president.
Republicans slamming Cohen's trustworthiness.
The first announced witness for the 116th Congress is a guy who is going to prison in 2 months for lying to Congress.
The hearing giving Cohen a chance to tell his side of the story before reporting to prison in May for a 3-year sentence. He has pleaded guilty to tax crimes, campaign finance violations, and lying to Congress in previous testimony. Now, he's cooperating against his former boss.
I have lied, but I am not a liar. And I have done bad things, but I am not a bad man.
And Michael Cohen also said that he lied to Congress originally to protect Donald Trump, but that Trump had not told him directly to do so. Michael Cohen also said that he regretted ever agreeing to work for Donald Trump. Reporting from Capitol Hill, I'm Kristen Holmes. Back to you.
President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are holding their second summit this time in Vietnam.
We both felt very good about having this very important summit in Vietnam.
The two leaders met in Singapore last summer, and they're expected to build upon agreement they made to work towards complete a denuclearization of the North Korean peninsula.
It is, I think, wishful thinking that Kim Jong-un may abandon his nuclear program.
Some believe this could be an uphill battle. U.S. officials say at the very least they want to see a more developed roadmap that prompts North Korea to get rid of its nuclear weapons. President Trump may also agree to officially ending the Korean War, something both North Korea and South Korea have been calling for since April of 2018.
The Supreme Court will decide the fate of a 40-foot-tall cross in Maryland. A number of groups, including the Freedom from Religions Foundation, have filed a court brief asking to take the cross down. They say it diminishes people who don't believe in religion. The Supreme Court is expected to make a decision this summer on whether or not to take the cross down. A patient is dead after receiving a transfusion of the wrong blood at a hospital in Houston, Texas. The 75-year-old woman was admitted to the hospital after having a brain hemorrhage. After receiving the blood, she started to have complications and later suffered 4 cardiac arrests before she died. The hospital's medical center president wrote an open letter promising a better and future care for the patients.
The man we told you about yesterday, who bought more than $500 worth of cookies from 2 Girl Scouts, is arrested on drug trafficking charges. 46-year-old Dietrich McGowan was arrested yesterday morning by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency. He's accused of conspiracy to manufacture and distribute heroin and cocaine and phenylene. His bail hearing is expected on Friday.
Charlie Bird, BYU Cosmo the Cougars mascot from 2015 to 2018, has come out as gay in an op-ed article for the Deseret News.
Ali Arnold joins us now. Ali, his opinion piece is getting a lot of attention.
Yes, it is. In the article, Bird talks about how behind the mask of Cosmo, he felt completely comfortable, but without the costume, he didn't feel comfortable in his own skin. You may remember this performance of Cosmo dancing with the Cougarettes that went viral in 2017. Of his experience at BYU, Bird says, quote, "The same community that made me feel like a superstar often simultaneously made me feel broken, unloved, and defective." Bird's final statement is a call to create a more welcoming environment worldwide for the LGBTQ community. On social media, people are sharing their acceptance of Bird. The article on Deseret News has over 1,500 reactions and over 100 comments and replies. User Claire Pincock commented, "I'm even more proud now knowing that it was you representing my school. I hope BYU continues to improve to become a loving place for everyone." Whether or not Bird knew it, he also impacted the student body around him. Stephen Gubler said, "He played a key role in helping me get involved with the LGBTQ community at BYU. Others commented that Bird helped them become more inclusive. Alicia Thomas Williams on Facebook wrote, "I was so touched by the courage it took for Charlie Bird. It was heart-wrenching to read. He shares insights that should inspire every one of us to be better and more tolerant." The article was published just after 10 o'clock yesterday morning, and since then it has been shared hundreds of times on Facebook and Twitter. Back to you.
With record-breaking snowfall in Wisconsin, snow is piling up. This time, not in anybody's way, but to the advantage for these mischievous farm animals. The snow piled up just above the fences so that the animals stepped over and walked out. The farmer said this is the craziest snow he has ever seen, especially since it's not even March. Luckily, with so much snow, the farmer decided to use the snow to his advantage, piling up the snow even higher so the animals would not escape again. You can see that with all these low temperatures, there's definitely tons of snow in Wisconsin. And these temperatures, the minimums for the next few days, are getting quite low. You can see dropping down into the mid-10 degrees. Luckily for Utah, we aren't so affected by these really cool temperatures. We will get a little bit in the mountains in the Wasatch Range, but our temperatures overall are pretty moderate. Looking in to Salt Lake, it's a high of 55 degrees for today. Down in Provo, not much cooler, or a little bit cooler with 52 degrees. Down in St. George, it's pretty warm with 63 degrees. Overall, our lows are dropping, luckily none below 30, which is amazing. And well, none in this area, but over in Vernal and Price, we're hitting the low 20s. Up in Logan, we have a low of 31 degrees. And down in St. George, luckily with warmer temperatures, but into the weekend we'll be seeing some rain with those cooler temperatures we saw with our nation coming down. The 5-day forecast also is being affected with these cooler temperatures, and we will see some rain and snow into our northern Utah forecast. We are looking, luckily, with not too many low temperatures. We're still in the mid-40s, so hopefully the rain and snow won't dampen your weekends.
I do appreciate the warm weather, but I do wish we had sunshine, lots and lots of sunshine.
I mean, today outside is real beautiful.
It is, although the sun would be a lot better.
Yeah, but there's no rain or snow.
It's true.
I'm missing the sun a lot. I'm missing it every single day.
Yeah, so Blake, what's up with sports?
We got a ton of stuff going on in sports. We got basketball, we got UFC, we got baseball as well. Coming up, the Utah Jazz will face off against the Los Angeles Clippers tonight. Find out how important this game is to both teams. Also, Adidas is under some fire today after a malfunction in their shoe. Find out the details coming up.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
The 6th-seeded Utah Jazz will be facing off against the 7th-seeded Los Angeles Clippers tonight. With the end of the season sooner than we all think, the Utah Jazz will hope to pull away a little more for the 6th seed in the Western Conference. The Jazz are currently a half game ahead of the Clippers in playoff standings, meaning whoever takes this game will take over the 6th spot. Both teams are 6-4 in their last 10 games. In their last meeting, the Jazz blew the Clippers out 129-109. Indiana forward Justin Smith saw his Adidas shoe rip apart yesterday as they played against Wisconsin. The news comes only a week after Duke star Zion Williamson's Nike shoe ripped apart during a game as well. There has been no word from Adidas about the incident. ESPN commentator and co-host of ESPN's First Take, Stephen A. Smith, had a few things to get off his chest yesterday.
The Lakers stink! Somebody has to say it!
Stephen A. Smith took to his radio show yesterday to express a few frustrations he had with his Western Conference Finals pick, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have lost 7 of their last 10 games and are slowly falling down in the standings. They currently sit at the 11th spot in the Western Conference. Big news hit the baseball world today, as the MLB announced that they will not be working towards implementing a pitch clock until at least 2022. Due to declining numbers in viewership, and a 20-second pitch clock has been in talks around the MLB for the last few years to speed up the game and make it more exciting for the common viewer. Reports have said that players have found it to be unsatisfactory when testing the pitching clock in spring training games. Yesterday, #1 UFC lightweight contender Tony Ferguson called out former lightweight champion and the king of trash talk Conor McGregor.
You wouldn't mind counting to 10? Nate can only count to 5.
Ferguson took to Twitter to call Conor a replica of his former self in hopes to stir up some conversation of a big money fight between the two. Ferguson recently declined a fight for the interim lightweight belt against Max Holloway. It seems as though he only has one fighter in mind until current lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov serves his suspension for a melee started back in October of last year. There is no news as to if or when a fight would take place between Conor and Tony. So this is a big fight. This is a big chance for Conor and Tony to kind of decide who gets another chance to fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov in probably November or December. So between all these different talks, it's going to be really interesting to see who gets to fight the champion later in like the end of this year.
I'm really impressed that you know so much about all of this. It's a world that I don't know much about because I don't know. It's hard to watch UFC for me. It's really aggressive.
Same. No, I'm the same way.
I grew up doing judo, so this is all my territory right over here. I should be in the octagon.
No, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun sport to cover, so it's a fun sport to talk about. We'll be right back.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time. Thanks.
These are cool. Did you, what did you...
What? After all my years of Pokemon training, Pokemon celebrates its 23rd anniversary today. That's right, February 27th marks the anniversary that the original game Pokemon Red and Green released for the Nintendo Game Boy. I'm excited to go out there and catch some Pokemon today, especially here in the studio with some of my squirrely squad.
Squirrel squad.
Pokemon for life.
I know. I remember when the Pokemon Go came out, and that was huge. So I know they have a really solid fan base.
My little brother's 9 years old, and like when we go to the store, he asks me for 50 cents so he can like. There's like Pokemon card dispensers at the store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's super weird.
Not something that's on my radar at all.
I'm 21. I'll be 22 this weekend, and I still want to play that Game Boy game almost. Like I want to play it all the time. I miss it.
Thanks for joining us today on Newsline.
Have a great day.